You let that linger for a little bit. Hell!
No.
Is that show still on? Is that still a thing?
No.
Does it exist? Price is Right? Anyone?
Yeah. The Price is Right is still a thing, I think.
No, it's not
You
a thing.
think? I
Stop
hate
it.
when you declare something and then you say I think. I want to know. Live from yet another Woke Data Wednesday. It's a Woke Data Wednesday here at Business Pants University. Woohoo!
Are we a university now? Are we an accredited university or?
We are a 14-year accredited university. Joined as always by Emma, Skinny Jeans Lurking, and Matt Bubba Mascardi. I'm
Which
the
one's worse,
fellow.
Emma? You tell me
Mine.
which
All
one's worse.
Mine.
I'll give you some insight there. I went to a nickname generator today, and those were the first three that were up, so I just filled them in. Skinny Jeans, Bubba, and Fellow. Those are I don't know what those is nicknames.
I'm not sure those are great. I think we should do just auto-generated porn names for the next show, though.
No, let's not do that.
Excellent.
In today's unruffled bag of butter stain nuggets, I hate butter stains, called June 1st, 2022.
June.
The Alternative Democracy Roundup, an in-depth look at Activision Blizzard's whininess, and an ESG News pop quiz. Right? Is that what you're doing, Emma?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Emma
Yeah.
notoriously...
It's a combo.
It's just so everyone knows, Emma notoriously hides all of her content until the very last second.
Because they'll look at the answers. I know they will.
Well,
Who's they? Watch it. Watch it with they.
They. Yeah, I'm offended.
And
Buzz.
no buzz. Only I get to buzz.
As Matt knows, that's so not true.
That's true.
You ready?
Thank you, everyone.
I don't know how much
Thank
time I feel like I could do that. I can definitely do this in 7. Give me 7 and don't hit pause when you guys talk.
Okay.
Ooh, 7, no pause. I like it. Let's do
You don't
it.
have to pause it. Let's do
Real
it.
timer. Go.
All right, here's the sad news. As Emma would say, I literally went to over 100 8K filings, Form 507, and I just looked for things. I looked for interesting aberrations from all the proxy votes happening at the end of May 2022. I found 11 that stood out to me. I'm going to tell you about them. Up first, Relmada Therapeutics. By the way, all this is real. None of this is made up.
Not even the company name.
And it's really not that interesting because if I was making it up, I'd make it a lot more fun. But okay, here we go. Relmada Therapeutics. Director Eric Schmidt. He got 0 of votes against him. 0. Never seen it before, ever. 0.
Wait, does he own the company? Is it all his
He
shares?
does not. I don't understand this. I went into the proxy. I looked around. I don't get it. 0 votes against. Again, I've never seen this, ever.
Relmada. Wow. I might have to invest in them. Eric Schmidt may be the second coming of Jesus.
Lincoln National. They had a shareholder proposal that was so close. 49% said yes to a non-binding shareholder proposal regarding the ratification of executive termination pay. What that means is that shareholders want to have a say over golden parachutes. So close. 49% said yes. Come on, people.
Let's get that 1%.
ExxonMobil, I wanted to check in on our engine number 1 buddy directors to see if they're how did it go? How did the year go? Are they hated this
good
year?
question.
Are they
Yeah,
accepted?
good question.
That's Kaisa, Hytella, Gregory Goff, Alexander Karsner. They're accepted, Matt. They got only 2 or 3% votes against. The shareholders at Exxon love them.
Loving them.
Because even current CEO Darren Woods got about 10 or 11% against them, so they're accepted.
It helps that oil prices are absurdly high.
Let's do a shareholder proposal pop quiz. Which one of these passed at Exxon with 51% saying yes? Here we go. Did shareholders approve a proposal to reduce company emissions and hydrocarbon sales? Did they approve a report on low carbon business planning, a report on scenario analysis, or a report on plastic production? Which one did they actually approve? I don't know why, but which one did they approve?
I might be mixing this up with Chevron, but I thought it was a scenario analysis.
Emma?
What I thought.
Oh, I was going to go plastic production.
Matt, you're right. Scenario analysis,
Yes.
51% say yes. As
Yeah.
usual,
Suck
I'm
it,
an
Emma.
ESG expert. I can never understand what gets a yes or no. I
Yes,
do
that's
not
right.
get it.
Can I
That's right.
can I explain my thought process very
Yeah,
briefly?
sure. Go ahead.
I
Go
just figured that they would approve the plastics one because despite the fact that like they definitely are involved in plastics, their actual plastics use, I would imagine, is much less environmentally impactful than obviously all
You're
the
using
energy.
you're using logic. You're using too much logic.
Oh, okay.
We
I'll
don't.
knock
We
that
don't.
off.
Emma, we
I
don't
tuned out at,
understand
like-
shareholders. We don't.
I tuned out
understand.
like 4 seconds into what you were saying because it sounded like you were going to say something smart, and we're
Okay,
just
sorry.
guessing
Aw.
here.
That's not my role here. I
Speaking
forgot.
of smart, moving on to Rocky Brands, director Robert B. Moore Jr. got 38% votes no. He's the nominating committee chair. And I'm trying to figure this out. Why? Why do they hate Robert Moore? I think it's because the board has 11 directors and only 2 are women. Is that it, Matt? Are institutional investors voting against nomination committee chairs if they have under 3 women on the board? Is that a thing?
That's been a thing. Yeah,
That's my
been
guess.
a thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, he's
Congratulations,
junior.
Rocky
Nobody
Brands.
likes junior.
2 out of 11 women. Isn't Rocky Brands like shoes and apparel?
I don't know what that is. Them and Romelda Therapeutics will probably work together.
Moving on, BuzzFeed. Emma loves BuzzFeed. Can we talk about dictators here? CEO and chair Jonah Peretti also controls 83% of the vote at BuzzFeed. So it should be called Jonah Peretti Feed.
Yes. Yeah. Good point.
That's what I
Here's
call
a nice little thing I found for you, Emma. CEO and chair Jonah Peretti, who owns everything at BuzzFeed, is a very rich man. He gets a $1,500 work from home stipend.
it. He
Is
does?
that per day?
Yes, he does. No, that's
Per
for the year.
day. Oh, for the year. Oh.
Wait,
I mean,
what?
I know exactly, Emma. Emma's reaction is the right one. Matt, yours is wrong. Moving on.
Yeah, I'll do the math there. That's 1 coffee a day he gets paid.
Why does he need that?
Because he doesn't get paid enough.
Okay. Southern Copper. This one stood out to me. They had a vote. They had a vote for an independent board chair. The shareholders wanted an independent board chair. This is their language against this vote was this: the board of directors recommends that you vote against this proposal. That's it.
Oh, I
11
like
words.
it. I
I've never
like
seen
it.
that. All they said was
like
just
it.
don't. But not even a
No
reason
explanation.
why.
No justification.
That's
Just
amazing.
stop it. I like it.
And let me tell you, it
That's
worked.
great.
It worked. Shareholders agreed.
People should
I
just
know,
keep it
right?
simple.
That's special.
Flowers, foods. Here's another one that's oh so close. A political contribution disclosure of 47% said yes. So we're getting there.
Ooh.
Yeah, second place is losing.
Hey, Emma, Dollar General. Here's a win. A political
Really?
contribution disclosure. 57% said yes. This political contribution disclosure it's got a lot of muscle this year. It's picking up. 57%
This
said
is
yes.
extremely exciting.
Was that one of
news.
those
Yeah.
anti-woke companies that put it in? Now I want to know.
Again, I don't know why. I have no idea why. Because it's the same owners that own everything else in the world. BlackRock, Vanguard. Oh, I don't get why here. Morgan Stanley.
I like that. But
Here's a proposal: adoption of a policy to cease financing new fossil fuel development. I don't know why. Maybe I'm crazy. I thought this would get a lot of support. Only 8% said yes. Major fail.
Ooh.
major fail.
And I will say that Morgan Stanley used 1,609 words to argue against this, so maybe that's why it failed so well. BlackRock. I wanted to point this one out, a shareholder proposal. I just wanted to read this out loud because it's so goddamn confusing to me. I'm sorry, but I'm going to read it word for word. Here we go. Shareholders ask that to the extent practicable. Oh my God.
Whatever that
Consistent-
word is.
Consistent with fiduciary duties and otherwise legally and contractually permissible, the company adopts stewardship practices designed to curtail corporate activities that externalize social and environmental costs that are likely to decrease the returns of portfolios that are diversified in accordance with portfolio theory, even if such curtailment could decrease returns at the externalizing company. Can you?
Okay.
Come on. Can anyone believe this?
No.
Yeah.
Isn't
come
that
on.
that's one of the anti-woke? That's a good
No,
one.
I think that's a John McRitchie.
Oh, is it really? Because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Sense. It doesn't matter. 4% of shareholders said yes to that. Only because I think that they probably didn't understand what the hell they're talking about. Okay, you guys are staring at me. Let's end my segment with neuronetics. Once again, I guess a vote for women. Bruce Shook. 56% of voters said no to Bruce Shook. I think because he is the chair of the nominating committee. Only 2 of 8 directors at Neuronetics are women. But here's the problem, Emma. Neuronetics uses the classic plurality voting standard, means that they had 8 directors up for vote, and it's the 8 directors who get the most votes that win a seat at the board. So all Bruce Shook needed was 1 vote, and he would have been elected director at Neuronetics.
Nailed it.
No one knows how that's allowed.
Winning
Nobody
one for
knows.
the boys.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Win one for
Crazy.
the boys.
Absolutely crazy. There you go.
All right. Let's put 5 minutes up because I have a major Activision Blizzard update that no one is talking about. The woke investor community now hates men. That is right. SOC Investment Group penned a letter to shareholders last week laying out a leftist replacement agenda discriminating against the men of Activision. SOC actually urged shareholders to vote against Bobby Kotick, Brian Kelly, Robert Morgado, Bob Cordy, Barry Meyer, and Peter Nolan. That's right. All the men on the board.
Yeah.
All of them. I'm surprised SOC didn't just go to their houses and evict them, too. These men have actually been at Activision for, on average, 20 years each.
Really?
So this is basically like their house. So
it might not be men. It could just be long tenured. We don't
no,
do we know?
It's men. 'Cause
Men.
One of them has been there for eight years.
Okay,
so
got
it's
it,
men.
got it.
Get out, men. On top of SOC's socialist bro canceling, they actually launched a smear campaign against Activision with a host of unfounded and misleading fake news about how Activision has dealt with the few bad apples that broke rules inside the company, right?
What's going on here? Is Matt doing sarcasm, Emma? I don't understand.
I'm
Is
not
that what he's
sure.
doing?
I'm
go
I'm
ahead,
telling
Matt.
you what's
This is
happening. I'm telling you
Matt
this is
Tucker
real
Carlson Muscardi.
life.
Go. Come on.
Since news broke that Activision may or may not have been sexually harassing and or discriminating against women for a period of maybe 3 years or maybe decades, SOC conveniently ignored the immense progress made by Activision to make sure these rule breakers cannot do it again. Here is what SOC missed. I am summarizing this from an update to Activision's proxy filing, their Def 14A. This is an update. This is an SEC filing. There's a response to SOC. Number 1, Activision announced a zero harassment policy. Their
what?
prior
Is that true?
policy. This
Wait,
is
they
true.
had-
This is,
They had to
I'm
announce
telling you,
that?
this is all true. They announced a zero harassment policy. Their prior policy was a 16% harassment policy.
Oh, right,
this one
right,
is
yeah.
0. Also, when they announced it super loud so everyone could hear. And that was not good enough for SOC.
Emma, I think Matt is joking around.
I think
Number
he's too.
2, they got rid of forced arbitration. Ladies, you'll get your day in court because your hurt snowflake feelings were not comfortable with company-paid arbitration, but it does not count to anyone who got groped before October 28th of 2021. So it's only future
what?
groping.
Is that true?
Future groping. This is
That's
also true.
Oh, God.
It's future groping. But
Wait,
that's
what?
still not good enough for the
Yeah.
leftist SOC.
Yeah.
Number 3, this is in a detailed list. You can go look this
Yeah.
up. They banned drinking at work.
What? wait, what's going on here? This is all
I just-
you can prove all this?
I can point to this in the document. Pause for a
Okay.
second and imagine this. You cannot drink on the job anymore. How much does that suck? But it doesn't suck enough for the whiny libs. So
Yeah.
number 4, they hired a chief diversity officer. And
Okay. Yeah.
she's a black woman. That
Shocker.
should count twice. She might as well be Stalin. Still not good enough for SOC.
Yeah.
Number 5, they set up a team to investigate any supposed gropey stuff happening inside of Activision and then immediately quadrupled the team. Can you
Okay.
do the fucking math on that? They set up a team and then
400%
quadrupled it.
growth. 400% growth?
July of 2021 to November of 2020, the team went from 1 person to 4. But the lefties are still pissing and moaning. So Activision began telling their employees, their female employees, how much less they make than men. They began a transparency campaign about pay. And before they actually made this campaign, they were asking the women to go wait in the bathroom until the boys were done talking about math and money and stuff, because that's not really girl stuff. But now the women are right there listening to the numbers. Still not woken up for SOC.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Finally, Activision announced and this is a real announcement, that they made progress on diversity. I mean, they literally used the word progress, as in progressive, as in, look, we're trying to stop social justice warriors from whining, so we're doing progressy stuff. But even that, Activision stating they, quote, made progress, real quote, that wasn't enough for SOC investments. So instead, SOC went on to falsely state that Activision has a frat house culture. They're just echoing what a regulator in woke California actually wrote in the lawsuit against Activision that was corroborated by the news, employees, and everyone who's ever worked there. It's false. It's blatant false news. And then there were attacks on Bob Morgado's character. The letter says his name 2 times.
Yes.
And while it might seem like it's exactly the amount of times they say everyone else's name according to actual counts and actual looking at words, it's the way they said it. And it shows you how the libs operate here.
Yeah.
Because Morgado's current position, this is all from the filing, is at Maroli Media Group, a company with no website. The last corporate filing appears to be in 1999, whose last, quote, deal was an investment in a failed media company called China First Music Co. in 1997. It may seem like he doesn't have the experience to still be working at Activision Blizzard, but they point out he has, quote, extensive experience and, quote, important perspectives. Like the other day, he was wondering what was with all the new skirts in the boardroom. Perspective. That's what I'm talking about. So shareholders, ignore the woke mob coming from Activision and vote the male slate for the Activision board on June 21st. That's the update from Activision.
I thank you for your unbelievable sarcasm, Matthew Moscardi.
Yeah.
I read this. I read these filings, and the Morgado part is the most puzzling to me because, as Matt points out, they don't harass the SOC investment. They don't come after Morgado, but yet the response from Activision Blizzard is just to back up and support Morgado. They're just like, how dare you come after Morgado? Like,
Really
he's a
weird.
good man. And
Honestly,
yeah, I don't understand.
the parts that are exaggerated are fairly obvious, or not, because they did say like no more alcohol consumption on company premises, and it's like,
And I will say
they're called that progress.
Bob Morgado is the lead independent director at Activision Blizzard. Been there for many decades.
He's been there for like 27 years.
And can I just say that the overall a take here is befuddling, because Activision Blizzard seems to be saying there's nothing bad going on here, but we fixed it anyway, and the people who are responsible for making it bad are still here. We're not going to replace them, but they fixed it, but nothing bad's happening anyway. The whole thing is confusing. I don't understand these people.
It's a moldy hamburger.
Okay.
All
Thanks for
right.
that. I think.
Yeah, we think.
That's a real update.
Hey,
That's a real
Activision Blizzard shareholders, I know you're listening and you're excited for Emma's quiz, but before we
Yeah.
get to the quiz, vote against all these dudes. All these dudes have been there for decades
after
and
this
created this
report?
culture. Just vote them out. It's simple.
You're
just
part
get rid
of
of
the
them.
woke mob. You're part
Don't
of the
let
woke
them
mob.
work at Microsoft. Don't let them ruin my precious Microsoft Excel.
Shut up, you woke mobster.
All right, Emma, what do you
All
got?
right. So now that I have a woke mobster and Tucker Carlson newly joining us, I guess we'll move on to our last segment, which is a Woke Wednesday news quiz. Shocker, I have a quiz. All right.
I do like. Whoa,
Come on,
that
let's
was
do it.
abrupt.
Come on.
That was
Okay.
abrupt.
Number one, I'm going to go through headlines, a little bit of context. Sorry, Matt, and then to your quiz question
Oh,
or
context.
questions.
Okay.
So, first headline is DWS chief resigns after police raid over greenwashing claims.
This is big news in our world.
This is big news
Police
in our world.
raid over greenwashing.
Yeah, I'm
that.
imagining like it's like when you're watching an episode of Billions and they the FBI comes in to take all the servers and whatever. But this is about greenwashing, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So the context.
Do you think they caught them red-handed? Like someone had a big poster board and a big red marker, and they were like making a poster about like carbon tax, and they were like,
I hope so. And then I hope that someone makes like a Spotlight-esque movie about it, and then it's the first ESG
with
movie
Mark
of our
Ruffalo.
time.
Mark Ruffalo, if you're listening,
I'll watch any movie with Mark Ruffalo.
join us.
All right. So a little bit of context. DWS is 80% owned by Deutsche Bank, but they trade separately on the stock market, which is kind of interesting. The CEO that is stepping down was praised by basically every head honcho at Deutsche Bank, including Deutsche Bank CEO Christian Suing, something like that. So he was.
Emma's doing it again. She's ruining names and
Butchered.
butchering it.
I didn't
And
acknowledge
Emma,
it. You
the
acknowledged it.
The DWS CEO who stepped down is named Osaka Warner.
Oh, good. Butcher.
Oh, yeah.
some more.
Thank you, Damien.
I'm laughing at myself, not at him.
But he's only been there since 2018 before he stepped down, but I guess that everyone liked him. And then finally, Stefan Hoops, a former Deutsche Bank executive, will be taking over as CEO on
Yeah, he's a backup guard for the Warriors, is he not?
I thought he was, yeah.
I know. This poor man must be getting basketball jokes. Actually, he's a white man who works for Deutsche Bank. I don't know why I'm pitying him. He's fine. All right. Question number one. How old do you think Stefan Hoops is?
Oh, that's the quiz question.
It.
Before I answer that, Emma, I want to know what's going to happen in the 9 days. So the Werman stepped down. He's gone. Police raided greenwashing. He's gone. And Stefan starts June 10th. What's happening the next 9 days?
No one's running it.
Is this like a shirtless pizza party? What's happening at Deutsche Bank? What?
No.
It's going to be crazy. No. All right.
Just
How
chaos.
old? The number that went right to my head was 38. I'm going to go 38.
Yeah, I was going to go either really old or really young. Since you went really young, I'm going to go 83.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Whoa.
The opposite of 38.
That'd be great.
If only I knew what sound effect to use here, because Damien is not correct, but Matt is like really not correct. So
Okay.
we're gonna
What does
go
that
with
mean?
whatever.
Sure, that's good.
Sure.
He is either 41 or 42. So Damien was pretty close.
I'm correct.
Damien's basically correct.
Yeah, come on. What are you
Yeah.
doing? What are you doing,
You
Emma?
missed the best question.
Yeah.
Which is, how many agents raided DWS to collect
I know this
things?
answer. I know it. It's 50.
It is 50.
It's
And did you
50.
know that during the Panama paper tax evasion raids of
Yes.
Deutsche Bank, there
Yeah.
were 170 officers. So this is
Oh.
1/3 as important as greenwashing or as tax evasion.
It's tax evasion. Yeah, I like it.
All right. So I actually have a second DWS question. So I could find exactly one blog post on efinancialcareers.com from 2019 that features Mr. Hoops. It was like the only thing I could find that
Okay,
had
Mr.
any
Hoops.
quotes
Yeah, I like
or
this.
extra
Yeah.
information about him. What did the headline say? The most aggressive 39-year-old at Deutsche Bank, the most progressive 39-year-old at Deutsche Bank, the most expensive 39-year-old at Deutsche Bank, or the most persuasive 39-year-old at Deutsche Bank?
It's going to be either aggressive or persuasive because they want someone to come in there and clean house, is my guess. I'm going to go
No,
aggressive.
this is from 2019, and it's
aggressive.
efinancialcareers.com. E-financial careers, like e-finance.
Don't we run
Yep.
that website? I think that's one of ours.
I think that's literally like two people in their garage running
Yeah,
e-financial.
They want
careers.com.
We love them,
they
though.
want a Mike Tyson. So they're going to get an aggressive. They're going to clean up that green.
They have to
They're gonna
go
wash
with
the
something
green wash
clickbaity.
away.
They have to clickbait it, which means it's going to be expensive because you would click on expensive.
What's the answer,
And you
Emma?
might click on aggressive. No one cares about persuasive or progressive. I'm going
Come on.
expensive.
Emma, what's the answer?
Damien is correct. It is aggressive. He was.
Matt, you know how
See,
much muscle power you need to green wash away? This isn't like a simple, like, clean up the counter after one of your stupid pizza nights. This is real work.
I'm just saying it takes 50 federal prosecutors to get this
This
right.
is true. The aggression, by the way, is referencing not so much the aggressive destruction of greenwashing, but more so overpromising based on his former role. So
Oh, that's
he
perfect.
sort of has
This sounds like most male
He
executives.
fit right
I like
in.
it.
He'll fit
Yeah.
right in.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Headline number 2. More than 4,000 Salesforce employees have signed an open letter demanding the company cut ties with the NRA. It's basically what you would think it is. Salesforce has over 73,000 employees globally. I believe that these people were mostly stateside based. The company has not responded to the letter yet, but co-CEO Mark Benioff has called for far stricter gun control laws in the past. He also announced in 2019 that the company wouldn't work with vendors that sold semi-automatic guns and 3D printed guns online. So he has a history of being in support of anti-gun messages, but they haven't responded yet. So your quiz question, that's less of a quiz question and more of a rhetorical question. Where the fuck is Brett Taylor?
Oh, I like it.
What?
I think we know he's busy at Twitter.
He's at Twitter. That's
yeah,
it.
he's consumed with Elon Musk.
But is he not the co-CEO of Salesforce?
That's why you have two.
But
It's like a
why is
married
it always
couple.
Mark?
Like only one has to show up to some events, like
Well,
employees
But how do they
raising up.
decide?
Now I'm with you, Emma. But first of all, if your title is chief executive officer, you can't be co. There's no co. You got to pick one.
Co-chief.
Right? That's like having two starting centers. You have one starter.
Look. The fact that they're using chief, which is like Native American in origin in some ways. You know, like maybe there were co-chiefs. Maybe they're just there's a throwback. You don't know.
It's a good
What
question.
Do you know?
though.
What?
But the answer is, and I've already answered it. He's busy with Twitter.
yeah, he's tweeting.
I'm just saying. This is why it's completely asinine to have people sitting on like 5 boards of directors. There's stuff to do on these boards. You can't be doing all this stuff.
But they're
There's stuff to do.
CEOs. See, one of them's doing the stuff, and the other one's off doing something else.
With Twitter. Got it.
They both get
All
the same
right.
pay package. Everyone wins.
Headline number 3. Tesla's full self-driving made this man so mad he's running for Senate.
Oh, yeah, I
Yep.
heard about this. Yeah. Uh-huh.
That is the headline. The context is that this man, Dan O'Dowd, is a software engineer and CEO. He's also a billionaire who is running for Senate in California on the platform of banning Tesla's full self-driving feature. His main beef with the full self-driving feature is that Tesla owners are testing beta versions of the full self-driving feature on public roads. And he's really not happy about this because apparently the full self-driving feature commits a critical driving error every 8 minutes. So
That's probably better than just average American drivers. I mean, I just drove to New York over the weekend. I think they average a driving error every 3 minutes.
But that
No,
at least is
that's
on purpose.
That seems conservative.
Okay.
Yeah, so by the way, a critical driving error usually constitutes something along the lines of like ignoring a traffic rule, sensing like a
Check.
pedestrian incorrectly.
They're sort of
like,
look. If you're a billionaire, they're like traffic suggestions. So.
truly.
Yeah.
He also, the other interesting thing about Mr. Dan O'Dowd is that he runs an organization called the Dawn Project, which aims to replace all of our current infrastructure with unhackable software. So like any software that has to do with like a power grid or hospitals or traffic lights or whatever, he wants to replace with unhackable software, which is interesting considering he recently claims to have created an unhackable computer for the FBI. So
Sure.
that's Dan O'Dowd, your California Senate candidate. Here's your quiz question. Do you think that you would hate or love Dan O'Dowd based on the information I have given you?
I mean, so his entire platform is just banning Tesla's full
That's
self-driving
actually what
feature?
I was cued in on.
Nothing else?
The one thing.
That's his
Just the
one thing?
One thing.
And again,
I'm
has he
not-
Nothing
seen
else about him.
And they give driver's licenses to every moron in America, every aggressive and people who like bring guns in the cars, and he's
No,
okay
he's-
with that.
his solution isn't like more public infrastructure, more. There's no other policy.
Yeah, he's not like
platforms
we're not getting
taking.
high-speed trains so people will drive less. He's just
He's
he's mad at
said
this.
for the 7 people who own Teslas, we're banning self-driving. That's what he.
I mean,
I
I
love
like
him.
him.
I
yeah,
love
I'm gonna
him.
say I love him
I
because
love
he
everything
sounds
about
like
him.
a character that Bill Hader would play on Saturday Night Live. He just
Yeah.
seems like a dope. I don't know.
I hope
I
he
like
wins
him.
because
I like
that's
him.
where American politics are.
Yeah, I'm with him. Are we right or are we wrong?
I
Yeah,
think
we're
you
right.
are. I think you are right.
We got it right.
Because
It's a good
I am
quiz.
the answer. Whether your answer was correct or incorrect was based
No, it's
solely
correct.
off of his Twitter. Just so you know, I went to his Twitter, and the first like pinned tweet at the top of his feed was, "At Elon Musk, is your Tesla full self-driving software just a $1 trillion Ponzi scheme? Did you become the wealthiest man in
Maybe.
history by swindling customers and investors?" And that is his
Probably.
whole Twitter. Like that
Okay.
tweet is just repeated in different ways. His whole, like, not exaggerated at all.
Love
Every single tweet. So
Got
he
it.
must be our friend, right?
Let's
I
get him
guess,
on the
sure.
show.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was wondering if the billionaire thing was gonna put you off.
Everyone's a billionaire. I'm a billionaire.
Everyone
is.
running
Yeah.
for anything is a billionaire.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Headline number 4. Big oil consultant resigns with scathing email to 1,400 executives asking them all to look in the mirror. So this
Okay.
is the direct quote. "I
Sure.
want Shell execs and management to look in the mirror and ask themselves if they really believe their vision for more oil and gas extraction secures a safe future for humanity." So she worked for them for 11 years as a senior safety
11
consultant.
years.
Yeah,
Okay.
11 years. She worked as an independent contractor working for a different company that consulted them on safety. So she was in it. Like, she knows what's going on because she was the one who is looking at safety at their extraction sites. So she's not just someone who is from the outside who doesn't understand the energy business. Like, she was with them. She said that she was inspired to stop working with Shell after watching news footage of Extinction Rebellion climate protesters urging companies' employees to leave. So
Okay.
here's my question.
Yeah.
Should we all just abandon oil companies and hope that they eventually fuck themselves over?
What do you mean?
'Cause it's-
What do you mean abandon?
Yeah,
'Cause
like we can't
we-
do
they
that.
Snub at a
have-
party? What do you mean?
They have all of these consultants and these like safety people and all of these like little minions running around trying to keep everything together. But after watching what this woman did, the chaotic part of me is like, should we all just like walk the plank and leave them to, sink on their own?
What do you mean? Like divest or stop driving? What are you
And just
talking
think
about?
about all of the consultants and firms that they use to like keep themselves above
Oh,
water.
you want all the
and
consultants to abandon them.
I kind of want all the consultants,
Even
to
though the
abandon
consultants are probably like love
because I'm
oil.
wondering if it's the consultants who are keeping them afloat in the eyes of the public and regulation.
But you're assuming that these are probably not very liberal people and don't care about any of these.
I'm going to rewrite your
policies.
question.
Yeah, rewrite it.
Rewrite
'Cause
your
I'm
question.
lost here. Yeah.
Here's the real quiz question.
The real quick
how
question
many
is: should Emma give up her
executives-
iPhone because she hates Apple? That's the real question. Yeah,
How
go ahead.
many
Emma.
executives should Shell have? Because 1,400 executives. 1,400 executives.
You know, it's funny. It's funny
many
you're
should
stuck
they
on that. You know what I'm stuck on, Emma? Is that did she really abbreviate the word executives in her letter? She called them execs. That's really
Yep.
verbatim. Come on,
Yep.
that's
I
lazy.
copy and pasted it.
Why?
Yep.
What are you doing? Why are you abbreviating that one noun? What are you doing?
All right, lay
Get a
off.
life. Get a
Let's
life.
wrap this up.
I'm going to answer the question. They
Oh,
should
yes.
have 2 executives. That's how
All
many
right,
they should
fair
have.
enough.
I'm gonna answer the question. Like I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Enough already. Stop driving around.
Consultants all need to go.
Stay home.
All right.
Okay.
And finally,
Yeah.
pay for women CEOs rose 26% last year, but we
Ooh.
are still far from gender equity in top corporate roles.
Shocking.
What was the most? Here, I'm going to skip the context. That's basically all you need to know.
Yeah, you're
Women are
skipping it
still
because you haven't written it yet. That's why you're skipping it. Go ahead.
Nope, because all it is basically women
Yeah.
still make less than men, and the progress is
Yes,
extremely slow.
unfortunately, yes.
There's no need to go into the depressing details. So your first quiz question is: who made the most money as a female CEO in the S&P 500 last year?
Who?
Oh,
Or sorry, what was the most money made by a female S&P 500 CEO?
just tell
Like
me. I
how
don't know.
much?
It's
I don't know, just
15
tell me.
million, 20 million, 25
care.
million,
Tell
or
me.
30 million.
My answer is just tell me the answer.
It was 1 million.
25. I don't know.
It was 30. It was actually 29.5 made by Lisa Su from Advanced Microdynamics. And
That sounds like a made-up company. Good job, Lisa.
That's AMD.
Yes.
same
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
AMD is like powering
No, that's like
the,
chips,
the,
right?
like
Potato chips?
metaverse now. Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, is this not the most
love what she says,
confusing
and finally.
sentence
Yeah.
you've ever heard? This is from the article.
Mm-hmm.
Male CEOs of S&P companies, in contrast, made slightly less than their female counterparts, a median of 14.4 million or 17.7% more than the prior year.
Emma, I look. I agree with you that that's confusing. But I used to work at MSCI where they taught us to write sentences like that. That was
Because
that's the bread and butter. It's just
slightly
bunch
less
of nonsense.
than their female counterparts, 17.7% more than the previous year.
No, the confusing part is they say slightly less than their female or their male counterparts or whatever. Like
Yeah.
as in females made on average slightly more than men is I think what they're
Yeah, that
saying
is
there.
what they
Except
were.
there's only 5 damn females in the S&P 500, right?
I
Like
think-
we're talking about
Yeah, they were.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they
What,
were saying
9
that their
people?
median was
9
lower.
maybe.
Yeah, because there are a bazillion more of them. Yeah.
Most importantly, from this amazing quiz from Emma, is that we finally have a quiz question. That is very simply, where the fuck is Brett Taylor? That is
Yeah.
the win today. You're only going to get the content like that here. That's it.
I wrote a second question too, and then decided that I just wanted the one.
That's enough. That's a
we
beautiful
are
question.
we are hereby announcing at Free Float Media a constant quiz policy, and I'm going to say it super loud to make sure that everybody knows this is where you get quiz content you can't get anywhere else. That is
Yeah, take
Emma
that,
Lurkey
Jonah Peretti.
and Damian Rollis. I am Matt Mascardi. We are Free Float Media. We will see you some other time. Goodbye.